Hey guys, welcome to part 4. I thought I would keep you updated just because this challenge is going at a really fast pace. We haven't had a losing session in what feels like forever, and when we have had a losing session, it's normally off the back of a massive winning session in terms of buy-ins, so it's kind of to be expected. And yeah, so I just thought I'd fill in the gap since we're already 84% towards the next stake level. It's been a day, and like today, you know, I might just do it, or I might take 2 more days, but thought I'd keep you updated. And yeah, these hands were played on my laptop, so they won't be in my HM2, but I'll show you the cashier nonetheless. Make sure this is getting shown in the corner. So yeah, we're at 471 in the cashier, and we have like 77% of $73, so that's another like 50 odd. So yeah, this is all filled in and up to date. So yeah, I made like one mistake that I can remember from last night, but in 2,000 hands there was I played close to perfect, and yeah, there were a few interesting spots. So I've got 5 of them here to go over. So you have a call in the small blind. I choose to pop this flop. He should be 3-betting 10s and 8s and sometimes 5s, so and he can't really have a 2-pair hand, so we can be really aggressive with our value hands here. So I chose to go big. We get called. It's only leads. Like it looks more like a defensive kind of bet, maybe with a 10. I don't really know. To me, I was just like, I was confused. I was just like, what are you doing? On this kind of card, it's more likely that they would check raise a value hand. And also on the flop, there was no flush draw, so it's hard for him to check call lead like some kind of flush draw. Maybe 6-7 could be trying to get cute, I don't know. Anyway, we call. It comes an ace, and he continues to barrel. And one of the traits I've been talking about at micro stakes in these games is that people don't value bet thinly enough. So like there's been a lot of times where I'll 3-bet out of position with like ace 10 versus a button, and the board will come like king 10x, and the board runs out in such a way that it comes like another jack and like, or like a queen, and then like a, I don't know, let's just say the final board is like king queen 5-5 10, so we have a 10. Like people won't triple barrel like king jack where the kicker doesn't play when check 2. They just won't. So if someone triple barrels into you in that spot, like it's kind of nuts or air, and if it's whatever I said, king 10 5-5 queen, the only kind of nuts they can have is like ace jack maybe, which they probably don't even bet when check 2 on the flop, and like quad 5s. So I've been calling with marginal hands in those kind of spots, and just getting shown some kind of weird junk, and because people don't value bet too thinly, so I don't even think some people have the confidence to bet like king 10 here. It kind of weights in more towards bluffs. We also block queen jack, which is not irrelevant. So I was just like, I don't really believe you, and he was doing something goofy with an 8, which is pretty strange, but you know, happy to take it down and happy to win that one. But I just thought it was an interesting hand. It doesn't look that interesting to the day after the hand was played, but at the time I just thought it was really strange for someone at 16-0 to have some kind of leading strategy on the turn, and like, yeah, it's just confused me a bit, and I was just like, I'm gonna call and see what you have, and I didn't have it. So this might look at first like, oh wow, you flopped a big hand, like how can you fuck this up? How is this gonna be interesting? But yeah, it's pretty strange action. So 6-5-5 rainbow. We get a check back. We lead. We get re-raised. And by him re-raising, he's kind of, I mean, in my opinion, he's polarizing to pocket fours or nothing. So I'm not sure what his raise is meant to be here. And because I put him on pocket fours more than anything, like just because I don't expect to get raised in this situation ever. Although I do berate people all the time when they check back a flop and then they raise a probe on like a brick, because I'm just like I just hate people who check back the nuts and then raise when I'm bluffing very often. It just makes no sense to me. So so I just decide to pot it back in his face, which I think is fine. And like, there's no flush draws, he can't be raising a combo draw. So I just honestly think he's got the nuts. I think he's got pocket fours here. And if he has pocket fours, because I think would I just punt in like 7-8 here? I'm not sure. I definitely punt in 5-6, but obviously there's no way we're beat. He's polarized himself, so I've turned his range into a bluff catcher, since he's not meant to be raising the turn with like quad fives, for example. So I think jamming 2x pot is completely fine. He did tank fold. So I've got no idea what he was doing. Maybe he was just like playing aces in some kind of goofy manner, but yeah, this was just a strange hand. But I think on the turn, I think check raising pot is completely standard. Like, we don't need to min click or anything, half pot it. I think just polarizing and trying to get as much money in as possible is the best strategy here. So I thought that was kind of an interesting hand. And then, alright, so we 3-bet queen jack suited. We're 200 bigs deep. I go for a check back here because 10-9 deuce is way better for him than me, and I don't want to inflate the pot. Actually, with this hand, I think it would be okay to c-bet and then call, because we have backdoor hearts as well. I think queen jack of like clubs or diamonds, I think, would be a slower play. So what I wanted to do with this bet was bet kind of small to make it look like we have ace king, and maybe get him to check raise his strong hands. Unfortunately that doesn't work, and I just go for the pot on the river. And here, honestly, I mean, people don't do this, but I was hoping maybe he would try and get fancy with a bluff and check jam if he has like king queen. Maybe if he thinks I can never have queen jack here, or you know, if he thinks I'm getting greedy with ace king but I can never call a massive over jam, then it would be a good spot for him. But unfortunately he just calls, and he has king 10 for top 2, so I'm pretty sad that this player's a massive nit and just, well, it's not, I don't know, is that nitty? I think it's pretty nitty. So yeah, I'm sad I didn't win more with this hand, but you know, what can you do? Yeah, it's also worth noting that if people aren't, you know, if they're playing top 2 like this, then, well, it's a couple of things. Firstly, it's a reference to how I said people don't go for thin enough value. I think it's reasonable for him to re-raise king 10. Like, I think it's pretty hard. I have like literally like I said, I have like 2 combos of queen jack suited probably. The queen jack of spades I would for sure bet. So maybe 3 combos, whatever, at some percent. So maybe 1.5. You know, there's not many combos he loses to. So what it means on the river is either he's going to have too many bluffs if he does raise, which I don't think he ever would. But yeah, in this spot, it would just mean that when he does raise, he probably has the nuts, if we assume he's never going to bluff, versus a bet. And at the same time, on the turn, probably means he's bluffing too much if he's too scared to value bet probe or check raise the turn. So yeah, just a couple of dynamics there when people are very scared with pretty strong hands. This was a pretty interesting hand. So go for half pot here with a massive combo draw. The reason I didn't go for a bigger size is because I didn't want to get check raised and blown off my equity. And we do get check raised, which obviously I'm not too happy about, but the hand we have is obviously very strong. So what sort of price are we getting here? Calling in $4.80, 70, 480. So does he just pot it? Is that an overbet? I think that might be an overbet. Oh well, whatever, it's about pot. So we peel. I think our range is way too strong on this river, so just go for the small bet. think I meant to go smaller than this, but he still calls. He has pocket nines, and like, I'm not sure I agree with his check raise on the turn, but you know, each to their own. And thank you for the speculative line, and yeah, I don't know. Thanks for the call on the river. Okay, so, oh, this was weird. So I think the read on this guy is that, yeah, this was an interesting dynamic. So this player, we'd played a few hands against him, and the same thing, I've referenced it like 3 or 4 times today. People aren't value betting thinly enough when checked to. And I think I've checked him, I think it might have been only 1 hand, but it might have been 2 hands. And I felt like he was betting a lot more often than the population would. So, you know, let's say I had the same board texture, I would 3-bet, let's say, kings or queens. I would maybe check call twice, you know, blocking the best aces, and, you know, he would just triple barrel into me. And I was like, this is a bit strange, because, you know, most people will be playing, say, ace jack off, much more passive, much more defensively. So my perceived his, well, how do you describe it? I was perceiving his bets when checked to be like 80% or higher. Like, it just felt very high. So we start off with a small c bet, looking for like backdoor hearts or something. We turn a hand which could be decent a lot of the time. So I go for a check call, and he bets 66% pot or whatever the number this is. And this felt very big. I don't think, like, the average micro-stakes player just doesn't bet ace jack in this spot. I think it's because maybe the small blind will often or sometimes check ace king, ace queen here, or ace jack, but like in fear of ace 10 or ace 3 suited, ace 2 suited. But I just felt like there's no way he bets like a mid-range ace here, and we block ace 10 for 2 pairs. And the river comes a 5. I mean, a 5 to a straight. Any 5 makes a straight, and he bets again. And I'm just like, there's no way you bet ace jack here. There's no way you bet ace queen here. 5-4 is getting more blocked on the river. Sets probably do something a bit different. You know, it's reasonable for me to c-bet check call ace 5. You know, pocket 10s are close to impossible. You know, it didn't make sense, and I just felt like he was barreling a lot when checked to. Anyway, I call, and he just had some goofy jack high, but yeah, I mean, it's not often I change a strategy to, you know, how individual players are playing, but just my perception of this player was that he was, you know, betting a lot when checked to, and, you know, there's no one does something goofy with ace 6 on the river. They just check and win. Well, firstly, ace 6 would just check back the turn, but like, people wouldn't be value betting the turn correctly, in my opinion. Like, what sort of 5s can he have? Like, pocket 5s don't bluff the turn. Well, I guess they could, but I don't think in reality they do enough. Pocket 4s probably don't bet the turn. I don't think they do. I mean, sure, he can have a bottom set, fine, but yeah, I just felt like we could maybe take this one down, and, you know, we did get shown a very, very wide float on the flop, so I think the read was correct, even though we only had like a couple of hand samples where he was betting into us when we checked to him. But yeah, I just thought, yeah, just given the analysis I just gave, I went for the call down, and, you know, we were shown the goods. Well, the worst hand, and we had the goods. So yeah, I just thought I'd keep you updated on some of the coolest or most interesting hands from last night. Yeah, there was quite a few donations. I'm not really showing donations. I mean, they're not really donations, it's just me playing solid and them not playing solid. So yeah, you can look at that how you want, but yeah, I thought I'd give an update before we move up again to 25, because you know, it's going way too quick. So we're 5 days in, and we've done, so what stake level were we at here? This is 5 zoom. So yeah, we're at 16 zoom. 1, 2. So yeah, we're about to make our third stake level jump in like less than a week. So it's going pretty damn quick, way quicker than I could have hoped for, I guess. But you know, if you keep doubling or 2.5xing your roll every 5 days, then you're going to be very rich very quickly. So yeah, long may it continue. Yeah, I hope you're all doing alright, and I should be streaming a decent number of hours today. So yeah, maybe I'll see you then. Alright, bye bye.